We hope you're hungry because today it's all about food.
From pizza to cookies, frozen yogurt to cupcakes.
Get ready to dig in because Hampton Roads Business Weekly starts right now.
Hello and thank you for joining us. I'm Cheryl Tan.
And I'm Zach Miller, and welcome to a special edition of Hampton Roads Business Weekly. Today, we're dipping into our archives to bring you some of our best stories about people who turn their passion for food into a business.
We're going to start with Carla Hesseltine of Just Cupcakes. For Carla, cupcakes started out as a stress-relieving hobby, but it took her all the way to Food Network. So thrilled to be in Virginia Beach Town Center at Just Cupcakes with owner Carla Hesseltine. Carla, thanks so much for letting us inside.
Thank you all so much for coming.
Giving us a tour. It's beautiful in here.
Thank you.
You've been in business since 2009.
Yes.
And I'd love to hear about your journey, how you started this business and what it's been like over the last few years as you've grown this company.
We have been really fortunate, and I've always loved to bake. Since I was a little, just like every other little girl, I loved to bake with my grandmother and mother, and it was something I did to relieve stress. I was in advertising and design, and as you know, that can be a very stressful business, so I would bake to relieve stress, but I was always really good at it, and always wanted to learn more. So when I started Just Cupcakes, it seemed like the perfect business for me. It would be a small mom and pop business. My children had grown up and gone, and I could sell cupcakes. I could have coffee. Mainly, it was a place for me to chat with other people. And then it took a life of its own and grew.
In 2009, the field was much different. There were a lot of cupcake companies, it seems. It was kind of the trend.
Yes.
And in 2016, there are not as many. The trend has died off just a little bit. How have you survived? How have you been able to morph, change, do whatever you needed to do to survive in this industry?
Well, I think when I started the business, I never thought about it being a trend business and what could happen with that. I looked at it like the donut shop. While there's always you can buy donuts anywhere, there's only one of a certain type of a Krispy Kreme or whatever donut place. So I always thought that cupcakes had a place in there, that while others would come and go, that there was always going to be a place now for this new category of cupcake. It's a singular, nostalgic treat.
People may recognize you, not only around Hampton Roads, but around the country. You've been on Food Network an amazing 4 times.
Yes.
What was that experience like, and how did you get the attention of the producers there?
A lot of it was, I think a lot of it had to do also with marketing. When we opened the business and with the business plan, I knew this is what I want everything to look like. This is what it has to taste like. This is what I want to do with Facebook, with Instagram, with Twitter, and we were able to develop a large following. So currently we have around 18,000 people.
Pretty good.
So actually the producers contacted me. I didn't apply. They contacted me because they saw us on social media, and actually it was the first year we actually opened that they contacted us, and I turned it down. I turned it down because we were a new business, and I was afraid of what it could do to the business.
Gotcha.
I wanted to be able to control the growth of a business. So we waited, and then it was season 3, the first time that we were on, and they called again, and I said, I think I'd like to. We did a demo video for them, and I'll never forget that day. I had to pull over because I was so excited when they called back and said, we want you. How quick, we want you. And then they wanted me again, and then again, and then again, and they were terrific episodes, and they were terrific times and terrific people, and I really took it all in stride and had fun with it.
People at home will be thinking, well, how do I get that? How did you make that happen? How do those opportunities show up at your door?
I read. I read. I look. I read a lot of business journals. I will say we had a great business plan. I work that plan constantly. I had mentors. I have business mentors. I have baking mentors. I have a team of trusted people that I do things with, and and I work it. I know that if you're using Instagram, the best time to post is at 5 o'clock in the evening or 7 o'clock in the morning, that this is the filter you should use. These are the hashtags you should use. You learn these things and you implement. You make a plan, you implement it, you measure it, and you follow through.
Consistency.
Absolutely.
Carla, congratulations and thanks so much
Thank you
for
so much
sharing
for
your
coming
story
in.
with us.
Thank you.
Hey, what's up, Hampton Roads? We want to hear from you. So if you have questions or comments during the show, tweet us at HR Biz Weekly. We're back after the break, but first, it's another edition of the TAN Plan.
More HR Business Weekly to come, but first, the TAN Plan. It is noisy out there. How do you keep from being the best kept secret in your field? Here are 3 ways to market yourself better and be seen in front of new potential clients. Number 1, get media attention, showing you sharing trends in your field. 2, partner up with another organization, a nonprofit maybe. Pool your resources for the greater good. And 3, get out of the office and network effectively. More media and marketing resources can be found at CherylTanMedia.com.
Welcome back to Hampton Roads Business Weekly. All right, we're going to go all the way back to our very first episode in my interview with Tony DiSilvestro of Why Not Italian. When I spoke to Tony, he was getting ready to open his 7th Why Not location. Take a look.
I think you truly have to look at the foundation of your business and really work on the core of your business to making sure that it's solid. Before you expand, you truly have to make sure that your core is really in place.
Tony, congratulations on being Entrepreneur of the Week. We're here at Why Not Italian. I think what's really important for businesses and people that are watching is to how other businesses get started. What made you start Why Not Italian?
You know, I was fortunate as a kid in New Jersey to start, making pizza at 15 years old and had a great opportunity to work for a lot of great people, and I've been doing it my whole life. So I came to the time when I hit the right age and moved to Virginia Beach from New Jersey. I was living up by Manhattan for a while. I came down here and decided that's what I wanted to do.
So this is the original location.
It is.
How long have you been in this space?
22 years.
And it looks exactly the same since 22 years ago, right?
A lot has changed. So.
Yeah, I'm sure being in business for 22 years, there's a lot of struggles and a lot of challenges that you've gone through. What are a couple of those challenges that you got through, and how did you get through them?
I think one of the biggest challenges is just perfecting management and working towards your staff and making sure that you're giving them the tools necessary to succeed. From dealing with customers and also dealing with your internal customers as your employees. So, and then going through that, financing and stuff like that, we dealt with that in the beginning when we first opened, which is always a difficult point because I believe most entrepreneurs are underfunded when they go into business.
Sure. So someone that may be looking for a way to get through that kind of funding concern, what can they do to get off the ground so they can do what they love and grow business?
I think there's a couple ways. I think truly you have to develop a relationship with a great banker, and and that's working with people in the community that have done this already. I think it's a wealth of information. I think the opportunity to develop a system where we can be attainable as entrepreneurs would be great, and that's really my focus.
So 6 locations, growing to 7, maybe expanding out of the area. As you do that, what are some of the growth challenges from store to store?
The growth challenges from store to store is just consistency. Consistency is the key to success for us. It doesn't matter from your management style, from the quality of your food, consistency is key.
So consistency in the food as well and the experiment. So if I'm at the Great Neck or if I'm in Ghent, I'm going to get the same experience no matter what. What about some tips for growing businesses or entrepreneurs that might be starting businesses on how to get out there and get their business to succeed like yours has?
I truly believe we focus on our core fundamentals of our company and build from there constantly. And then not only be satisfied with our core functions, but perfecting them every day, whether it be we go out to our plants and look where our tomatoes are grown. We go to our cheese factory, and so we go truly on our core and constantly try to perfect what we're doing at the core.
You still come every day? You still make the rounds?
I do. I still bust tables every night.
There you go.
I make pizza every Friday night. My brother makes pizza every Friday night in Kempsville. My wife's out here with us, so it's really great.
So you truly love what you're doing. I think it's absolutely awesome.
I love it.
And congrats on being Entrepreneur of the Week.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Awesome. Take care.
Awesome.
We have more Hampton Roads Business Weekly coming up, including a story about a woman who took her passion for cookies from the kitchen to the garage. But first, the Millennial Minute.
Hi, I'm Mike.
And I'm Renee. Do you know all the places your business is listed online? Do you know if it's accurate? This is really important to target millennials, as we want to make sure that your information is listed correctly throughout the entire web.
So grab a pen and paper and write this URL down. It's moz.com/local. This is a free tool for any business to look up their listings to see if their information is correctly syndicated across the top listing sites. So tools like this are completely free and it takes literally a few seconds. So there's no excuse to have inaccurate information or to not be represented online on top listing sites.
This is extremely important for millennials as we make up more and more of the buying power. This means that as we're looking for information, if we don't see your information and it's not listed correctly, whether that's a phone number or address or a website, we're moving on to the next person on the list.
If you'd like more information about reputation management, you can contact us online at hrbusinessweekly.com.
And that's your
Millennial Minute.
Welcome back to Hampton Roads Business Weekly. We are here with Jeannie Fioca of Cookie Text, a Yorktown-based bakery.
Yes.
Would you call yourself a bakery?
Absolutely.
All right, so you came up with an idea to basically put messages on cookie cakes. Where's the genesis of this?
It's a lot easier to make a cookie cake than an actual cake. And I was trying to think of some clever, neat way. I'm kind of a giver by nature for somebody to give a little extra punch in telling somebody they care. So I thought about a message on a cookie cake, a cookiegram, hence a cookie text.
There you go. So the text is the text in the name is the text that's on the cake.
Yes.
On the cookie text. So you've done something that most people would never do. Your business is in your garage.
Yes.
So a lot of businesses are started at a garage, right?
Yeah.
And so you're another garage-based business, but you've converted your garage into a 100% space that is legal as a business. What made you decide to do that instead of going and getting into kind of a kitchen space in a commercial place?
Oh, it was really born out of necessity. Originally, I had rented some space in the back of a business. They had, unused kitchen space, and that business closed. And so we quickly shuffled into the garage and slowly converted it as time went on. And as we were back into I keep saying we because my husband helped me move everything out of that kitchen. As time went on, it seemed like such a better fit for the kids and for me trying to juggle several roles, because not only are you a business owner as a woman, oftentimes you're a mother, and I'm still involved in community things.
And so you wanted to be closer to your kids, and what better place to be than your kitchen garage, that if you needed to go away, it's not leaving for an hour or so and then not being able to be right there. It was, you're 30 seconds away.
Exactly. This morning I baked cookies while I made the kids' lunches.
So recently you received a bad review, and you handled it how?
It had been with somebody that I had dealt with on the phone, that it had gotten to the point where I realized nothing I was going to do was going to make them happy, but we still fulfilled our end of the bargain. That person left a bad review. It was our only 1-star review that we had ever. And
was it a star plus actual comments?
Yes.
Too, or just, okay.
Yes. And so I responded very professionally and left it alone. But my friends from Facebook and from my personal life that I had shared on my personal Facebook page that I had an issue went and just all gave me multiple more five-star reviews, and they rebutted all of her comments and basically said, there's 68 5-star reviews, 1 4-star review, and 1 random 1-star well, who do we think the problem is?
Right.
So
So
it
your
was kind
community
of
backed you up because
Oh.
of the years that you've given to them. They said, all right, we need to go in and make sure to support Cupcakes where someone else is saying something bad, where they were the outlier in this situation. Your community kind of self-policed them out of the situation.
Yeah, it was kind of overwhelming how quickly people came to bat for Cupcakes and for me. It was a little bit like, oh wow, but I think if you offer consistently good service and a superior product, that's how people feel so committed and involved in the brand.
So I often talk about how a lot of people have great things, but your product can't suck if you want to get it out there, right? And so I think you have a great product, but how do you get your product in other people's hands? What have you done to make sure that people know that you're open for business?
I give a lot of cookies away. A lot of cookies away. Vendor fairs are great events for me where people can see the cookie, taste the cookie. We always bring samples. We gift them at the kids' schools.
How do you test those things? So how do you know that that is the thing that works?
A lot of times it's a coupon code that's associated with the event, or an onslaught of people that their name was gathered at that event and they're in the emailing list, and then I can see their name come back through the system.
Great. Awesome job. Thank
Thanks.
you for the Cupcakes.
Awesome. Thanks for having me.
Coming up, meet the woman behind the Skinny Dip frozen yogurt bar. It's next on Hampton Roads Business Weekly. Welcome back to Hampton Roads Business Weekly. I'm Cheryl Tan with a new segment, The One Thing. The one thing that entrepreneurs do that lead to business success. Today we're talking with Cindy Roush, the owner of the Skinny Dip. Thanks for chatting with us today.
Thanks for having me.
We're here at your Pembroke location, and it's one of 9 stores that you have. But I'm going to start with one question that I had for you, and I know you get this a lot, that I'm surprised that this is a Virginia Beach born store.
Yes, my very first store was at Lansdowne Commons. I went to San Diego, visited a yogurt shop, and said, I can do that. I can do that better. So I went down to Lansdowne and saw that there was a brand new shopping center open, called the broker that had her number plastered on the window, and I said, I'd like to open a yogurt shop. And she said, who are you? I'm like, nobody now, but I'll be somebody.
And you had all these grand dreams, but I know that there were some challenges on the way.
I thought that it'd be so easy to just go get a business loan. My family, we have good credit. Being a minority, I thought I'd have a little edge to be able to get a business loan that way. Being a woman-owned business, I saw a lot of doors closing on me. I had to tap into other things, family, put a second mortgage on my home, sell a car and get a cheaper car. I had to do everything I could. I even took my kids' college funds and used those too.
You started off with one store in Lansdowne, in Virginia Beach, and you've grown it to 9. When did you realize it was time to get another store? I mean, as opposed to sort of sticking with the one you had to get more.
It was a no-brainer also. We were always packed. We ended up pulling cash registers and putting them on makeshift tables. We outgrew our space, so we had to make another space, and our first opportunity was in Hilltop by the new Trader Joe's. So that was opened April of 2009, less than a year from the first store.
And now you're moving into franchising, something completely different.
That again was the customer saying, I want a Skinny Dip. And we were just a mom and pop yogurt shop. You can't just sell a Skinny Dip to someone. So after so many people kept asking us about wanting a Skinny Dip, loving our brand, my family, my husband and me, we said, we should do this. We have something here. So we talked to our lawyer and made the Skinny Dip a franchise business.
I want to ask you the one thing then. What is the one thing you think has led to your business success to help you to grow from one little store in Lansdowne in Virginia Beach to a franchise system now?
My number one thing, the one thing I think is the most important thing, is customer service. It doesn't matter how great that bowl of frozen yogurt tastes. It doesn't matter how nice my chair looks or what color the paint is on the wall. If my team doesn't treat the customer like they're the one thing, they're the most important thing. Without them, we're nothing. And I've had bad experiences at places that, everything was great except the person who was helping us. And that can really turn, there's too many other choices to go to. So my team, we have customer service training. We talk about, we answer the phone a certain way. When people come in, we greet them a certain way. We want it to be the Skinny Dip way.
Awesome. Cindy Roush, thank you very much for joining us today. That wraps up another edition of Hampton Roads Business Weekly. Like us on Facebook and Instagram at HR Business Weekly.
There, you will find segments from previous shows, plus some great behind-the-scenes pictures and videos. For Hampton Roads Business Weekly, I'm Zach Miller.
And I'm Cheryl Tan. We'll see you next week.
Hampton Roads Business Weekly, sponsored by Regent University and produced by ABC 13.